Good evening. I'm calling to order this regular meeting of the Town of Shaftsbury Select Board on Monday, April 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in Cole Hall and on Zoom. Does anybody have a conflict of interest with anything on the agenda?
No.
The minutes.
We are behind on minutes, but we will have them all for next week.
We'll have them all for next week. That'll be
Next time, not next week, next time. Yes.
Okay. Any announcements?
No.
Okay. Warrants. My favorite moment of the night.
Yep. You signed one of each last week because we were off.
I did.
Yes.
I signed, yes.
Yes, you did. You will see your signature
I
there.
was confirming.
Yeah. The last payroll, and that we were off for the meetings, so the weeks.
Paul is doing like we learned we were supposed to do, which is to announce to you in his signing because we don't have any. Okay. So, we have here check warrant report payroll number 21 for $3,422.42.
That one has a lot of the stipends on it, and they're just missing a few.
Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Tony.
Second.
Second by Mike. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And then under there is one that I already signed, if you want to just...
Yeah, so take the paper clip off and see the bottom one. Please.
And this is similarly one that I already signed, but I'm going to go through it again. It is check warrant report number 25025 for $80,234.90. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Or second.
Second, Mike, thanks. Items over 1,000, A&K Agri Services for $1,502.48.
Gravel.
Aflac for $1,498.26.
Employee supplemental insurance.
ECRC for $9,041 and for $8,000.
One is a quarter two payment, and the other is for a task agreement.
A task agreement.
Yes, a task agreement, and when I wrote it down, I went, I have to look and see what that task is. I think it's the solid waste thing, but I will call Jim tomorrow and make sure, and Scott.
Bennington County Sheriff's Department for $6,960.
March fee.
Bove Fuels, one for $2,142 and one for $1,399. That's
Fuel.
And we have a lot of Green Mountain Power ones here, all of them
Yep.
fairly small. Going in here randomly, Crosby Getty.
She is the cleaning service for the DPW and Cole Hall.
Good. There's 3 payments to her, 200 each. And Innovative Surface Solutions, $5,211.
That's for the vault, I think? Calcium chloride, sorry. There were 2 solution companies. Thank you.
LHS Associates, Inc. for $1,402.
That is the cost for the March ballot printing for the town.
Okay, a number of ones for Peckham. $1,475, $1,675,
All gravel.
1,844, $3,176, and $1,894. A lot of gravel got dumped. Okay, RCS Consulting, $1,640.
Monthly network upkeep, maintenance.
Urban Propane, $1,401.
That's for the filling of the propane tank at the new building. Yes,
Sycamore Landscaping for $3,208.
March cemetery maintenance.
And Wallingford Crushed Stone, $12,742.
More gravel.
Yeah. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Did everyone sign both of those?
Do I vote even though I was 2 minutes late?
I think you,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can vote.
Okay,
I think you're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Public comments. None of you were here as members of the public. Okay. And we have nobody on Zoom.
Nobody's on.
Treasurer's report.
Hello, everybody. Can we take a look at the cash flow, please? This is the final cash flow for March. Most of this we've already seen. Boy. I always put you guys through this, and I usually have my own sheet, so I apologize. The biggest number here, I think we've already looked at almost all of these. You see the delinquent tax, and Holly just gave me, it'll appear in next month, another pretty sizable delinquent tax check. So she's been working hard and getting the balance due down pretty low. I haven't checked to see whether it's ever been lower, but it's getting, I mean, for this time of year, it's quite low. Let's see, we go down to the bottom, please. As I say, I think we've seen almost all of this stuff already. So that's the cash balance. This is obviously before all of the checks that I'm going to be sending out tomorrow. We're still okay. If it gets too low, as of July 1st, I'll be able to get a line of credit, but that absolutely needs to see us through the next few months. And then if we want to look down, any questions about any of the revenue or expenditures you've seen so far?
You're saying we're okay?
I'm saying that we need to keep an eye on it. We're probably okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want there to be a terrible, I mean, I never want there to be a terrible ice storm or something, but, we need to keep an eye on it. We take a look at the budget versus reality. The revenues, I say this every time, they look like they're super high, but that's because of the moving the money around with the 900 fund transfers. So it's a little artificially high for that reason. And part of that is from moving from the accrual basis of accounting to cash. So a more realistic projection of our revenues is 102%, not the 112 you see there for the current fiscal year. The expenditures one right below that, you can see that we are, at the end of March, we are at 99% of our expenditures, and we still have a couple more months to go. So that's the number I've been bringing to your attention for the last couple of months. We know it's going to happen, but now you're seeing that it's happening. We're going to overspend our budget quite a bit. And if you look at the 24 for comparison numbers next to it, the 107% there is also elevated because of a flow-through grant. That's not even a real number either. I think that last year we ended up with the budgeted expenditures, we're actually, revenue, we're really quite on target. And the difference, I think, was almost exclusively the high interest rates. So we're earning a lot more interest than we usually do. But last year at this time, we were at 81%, and that's more normal. I've looked back at a few years, it's usually in the 85% range. Because we do more of our spending in the winter months, so we don't expect from here to the end of June to be as expensive. But anyway, just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Thank you. It's been a very expensive year. I mean, if we think about all the stuff.
Yeah, right. So that's just the reality of what we're seeing. So there's cash is one consideration, but the budget is another consideration. They're marching in parallel right now, but I will be keeping a close eye on that cash. We want to take any questions about any of that? Okay, so if we can take a quick look at this, very little going on here, and I think we've talked about all of it before. Tiny bit of water coming in. Those are all late payments, and we're not doing anything to go after them. It's just people who, found an unpaid bill in their kitchen or something. The listers reappraisal line there, I think we talked about this last time. That's money we get on a per parcel basis from the state to aid in the expense of the reappraisal that we are undergoing right now. So that's what that is. It's just every town gets a certain amount from the state to pay part of it. It doesn't go very far, but to pay part of the expense of the reappraisal. And that's all that happened in March with all the reserve funds. Any question about any of that? Okay, I'm going to make my regular announcement. You have until April 15th to file your HS 122. Please don't miss that date. If you do, you will pay a penalty. It's very, very, very important to get those in. And I know that Gina has been very on top of this, and I'm really hoping that the work she's doing is going to make that not be as much of a problem for our taxpayers this year. Any questions about anything? Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, DPW report. Hi, Mike.
Hello, everyone. So, I actually have a lot to talk about, and I was wondering if this would be a problem or not. But because I wanted to know if we could open the mowing bids now under DPW report.
Sure.
And the reason being is that's quicker than what I have to discuss right now.
And there's only one.
Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Consensus of the board? I believe there's only one.
Yeah, only one, and it was advertised for quite a while.
Okay, so this is yes, from Sycamore Landscaping, and it is $19,200 for each of 3 seasons.
So what I did is I made it so a 3-year contract, but I broke it down like that so that we could see how much it would cost for each year. So we knew what to budget for the next 2 years. We already had money in there budgeted for this year, but I wanted to make sure we were going to be all right to, if it was something we were going to keep doing. So that's why I broke it down into 3 years.
Good.
Makes a lot of sense.
Since there was only one bidder and we're cutting it close on time, we budgeted plenty of money to accept that right now and to approve that and to move forward.
So you would like to recommend we...
Oh yeah, Sycamore already does a lot of work with the town, with the cemeteries, and they do a really good job, so I feel confident in moving forward with that, if everybody else does too.
Can I have a motion to accept the 3-year contract bid from Sycamore Landscaping, J. Conrad? $19,200 each year.
So moved.
Thank you, Mike.
Second.
Second, thank you, Brad. Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Yeah, if there was a couple more, I'd like to review it, but I think we're safe,
Okay,
so.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
This goes to you, right?
Yep.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Well,
We have more to
that
go
was
now.
quick. I don't know if this is gonna be so quick.
Yeah, just get mine.
I've been trying to think of how I wanted to start talking about this, but the town of DPW, we have a lot of equipment. I mean, whether it's trucks, backhoes, loaders, whatever. We use everything, obviously, and everything is all that equipment is important to us. So we have we have a replacement schedule, but the last couple years before this year, it was more like, it's time to replace truck number 3. Okay? All right, so that's what I did. I know nothing about the numbers, I know nothing about anything, just...
And based on the schedule of the sinking funds, we did
Yes.
truck by truck.
Yes, that's the way. So we would pay in full for everything, and we would keep saving and, and then purchase the vehicle. Well, what that does is, I have trucks in the shop right now that are pushing almost 15 years old, and we're dumping all kinds of money into them just to keep them going. But what I've drawn up here for a replacement schedule isn't we're not going to be able to pay for the equipment right up front, but for the next couple years to get back on track, we would have to finance a couple pieces of equipment. And I played around with the numbers, and the reason I wanted to propose this is because last year, truck 4 should have already been here by now. It's been on order. We approved it last year in July at the meeting. So it's all been approved. The truck is still not here yet. So that's putting us back. So my backhoe is due to be replaced right now in this fiscal year. So I made this plan up so that we could get the truck and get the backhoe, but we would have to do some financing. And what that would be 5 annual payments, and I'll explain this to everybody. I'm just trying to summarize what I've been working on. So it'd be, 5 annual payments for the truck that we have on order and this backhoe that we will talk about shortly too.
I can share.
Oh, I have mine
Sure. Okay.
right here, because mine's got all kinds of notes on it. I also wanted to hand out something else too. Right here. So what that is that's pretty much just explaining, the fiscal year where we are. And the money that you see over on the actual transaction side, that is our reserve fund. That's where we sit on our reserve fund right now, $216,000. She just had it on the board, on the screen. So talking with other towns throughout Vermont, and how are these towns doing that? Well, the price of the single axle that we just bought 2 years ago was $175,000. The price of the one that we're getting right now is $254,000. So realistically, we don't have the money in the sinking fund to buy that truck anyways.
Right.
So I was going to have to come to the board to talk to maybe, a financial plan with that too.
Yeah.
So, but working on that, we're trying to figure out like how we need to replace our equipment and everything. This is what I came up with. And then it also stemmed on like how much money have we been putting into this equipment. And this is just a quick little sheet and just look at the backhoe. That's the quickest one, easiest one to look at, because that's the one I need to talk to you about here shortly. So anything in gray, we don't own anymore. That was just for my viewing. I just left it in there. All the negatives, the negative numbers are over the budget. On the where it says budget difference side, anything that's a negative, that's over what we budgeted for the machine. So the backhoe, we only budgeted, $19,055. And this is just from when I started back in 2018. We put 40 grand into that machine. Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing this up is our backhoe is in dire need of replacement. And going through, figuring out all these numbers to come up with a schedule on how to do this, I found a backhoe replacement for us. And it's kind of something that really needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, we're going to end up spending more money. So Caterpillar has a program going on right now for backhoe. They're leftover units, and they're just 24s. They were ordered for the state of New Hampshire, and New Hampshire rejected them because they went with a different size model or something. So there was a few left over. So in calling the Cat salesman to get a budget number for a backhoe, there is one on the lot right now, and it's at a discounted rate. So the machine itself is $200,000. And looking back in the notes from somebody before me, they projected the backhoe was going to get replaced in fiscal year 25. And the budget number they used was like $105,000. So even if we were still following that plan, the money-wise, there was not enough money put in there. So I had Caterpillar draw me up the agreement. I said, well, I have to present this to the board because that's just the way it works. And he knows anyways. The guy's been selling for a long time. He's actually the one that sold us the excavator. So it's the machine itself is $199,500. They want to give us $25 grand for our backhoe. It's a 2011 John Deere. It's got 8,000 hours on it, and there's something going on with the transmission. Last year alone, I put $15,000 into that machine just to keep it going. I mean, we used that machine for loading sand, salt, clearing trees out of the roads during windstorms, cleaning culverts. I mean, it's on wheels, so it's very versatile. It can get around the town pretty quickly. The one we have right now.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Who's driving?
Well, yeah, yes. So with the trade, that brings it down to $174,000. So Caterpillar's doing this special program right now, and it's for municipalities. And I locked in this one for us so that we could move forward, but I did it with pending approval. So, and that's minus another $22,000. So that leaves us with the machine at $152,500. And that at that discounted rate, there's nobody that can compete with that price right now. Right. And it's actually, this backhoe that's spec'd out has better specs than the ones we have. It's a bigger backhoe. It's got a little more horsepower. It's got a little bit more reach. I could go on and on. It's got front fork, so I mean, which will come in very handy for the Emerald dashboard too. So what I'm getting at is I would like to purchase that machine at a 5-year annual upfront lease of purchase agreement. So for 5 years, we'll make a payment of $33,933. So I have it all right here if anybody's got any questions or anything. So what I want to do is I want to use that money out of the reserve fund to make the payment for the next 5 years. And if you look at this sheet that I did, fiscal year '25 backhoe replacement, I got payment number 1. And this spreadsheet, and if you go to the next year, you got fiscal year '26, and it shows the payments going so on and so forth. And I got some notes over there, kind of explain what I was projecting. Well, in fiscal year '26, there's 2 other things that we need to do, but I wanted to do one thing at a time. The machine that we have right now is going to take probably, it would be $25,000 worth of repairs to keep it going, versus not replacing it. So what I would like to do is move forward with that. And we can stop right there for now, and I can explain my other stuff, like the next move.
So can I ask?
Absolutely.
Just ignore it.
So the projection that we had originally set
One
up
guy came in and checked it out.
is not
They all
working
came
for
in.
you.
No.
And so you're replacing it now.
Yes.
Good.
So the projection, it makes it so that we would not be able to replace that, because we would only be buying that truck this
Right,
year.
right.
Actually, we'd be not doing nothing in '25.
Yeah.
We'd be waiting till '26 when the truck shows up.
Yeah.
So, and then we're into this spreadsheet that I did, and this just shows how much money we've dumped into
Right.
equipment instead of, keeping a schedule on it. I've made it so everything, all of our trucks are 10 years worth of service. And that's pushing it. I'd really like to do 5, but it's just about impossible. I mean, we just can't afford that. I even played around with it doing 5 years, and it doesn't work.
So do we have enough money going into the reserve fund?
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
right now, so if you look at this, right now we have $216,000 right now in that fund.
Right.
But if we spend all that money on the machine, we're still gonna have to finance something else. So
Right.
if we paid for the backhoe, we're still gonna have to finance the truck, which we need the truck.
Right.
The truck 4, we've kept for too long, and it's actually a 12, not a 13, but I told Tiffany that was fine. It's the way it's in the system, because they got the truck in 13, but it's actually a 2012. I mean, just over the last 7 years, we've put $135,000 into a truck
Wow.
that just keeps falling apart. There's no warranty on it, there's nothing. But that one's getting replaced. We've had it on order. The last couple years with the availability of stuff, with whatever went on with COVID, and kind of messed up that. But then I don't know what happened, but something didn't get signed back before I came to you guys in last July. I remember we talked about it, and so we were behind on that truck. So if we were ahead, we probably would only be just financing the backhoe at the time, or at this time. So, but the reason that I would like to finance the truck and the backhoe is because truck number 3 has a major problem right now, and I've talked to 3 different outfits about repairs. So the dump body that we use for the trucks, they're called an all-season dump body. And what that is that dump body is served throughout the year. So we use that for winter maintenance. There is a bed chain in there that takes the sand out and sands the roads. We use it for summer maintenance. But to get the sand over to the chain, there's an inner dump body called the side dump, and that moves on a 45-degree angle, and the sand goes over to the chain. Well, these dump bodies that were put on truck 3 and truck 4 were bought very cheaply. They don't even make them anymore. They're not the salesman that works for Viking now that sold the town those dump bodies told the person that was in charge back in 2015, do not buy this dump body. It is not worth you're saving the money. So whatever, the dump body was bought. We've patched, we've welded on them. Yeah, we go on and on and on. As much as I don't want to dump all this money into the truck, we need this truck for another couple more years. So what I'm also proposing is I need to be able to spend $50,000 out of that sinking fund to fix that dump body. I've talked to 3 different suppliers, Zwack here in Steventown, Viking, who we use, who are building our trucks now, and another outfit over in Greenwich, who supplies a lot in New York State. I just wanted to get some numbers to see, and I also wanted to know if it was repairable. And Zwack actually does, they take the side dumps out and will put new hinges and stuff in there, but the rot is so bad that it's not worth it replacing. I sent pictures down there, and so what I'm proposing for that truck is that we purchase the dump body. And the reason I'm doing this all right now is because I'm kind of in a time crunch. Because of the production-wise on these dump bodies, I have to have something in line this summer. I have talking with all the manufacturers is the longer we wait, the longer we're not going to have a body, because it's going to take from 3 to 6 months for a body to be produced. And that's not even them to install it. We're going to install it ourselves.
And what about the tariff issue?
So one company wrote on there that, I knew this was going to get brought up, so so Zwack, no tariffs have been established at this time. Tariffs, if necessary, will be a single line item. So their all-season dump body is $42,695.
What's the date on that?
Today.
It'll be going on the 9th, right? For a lot of things.
This is today.
Yeah.
But Vikings he's the same thing. He didn't write it in there. He says it'll be a line item. Tarco, that's made in America. There are no tariffs. All USA steel. So, and I asked the guy about that too. But that one's $55,000.
Self-tariff.
It's 55 instead of 50?
No, I'm just saying that one's $55,000.
Yeah, how much is the Zwack?
Zwack is $42,000.
Okay.
40. So we'll say 43. Viking is 44.
20% of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking even.
Well, and what Zwack was saying is if we approve this tonight and I buy this, if we do this now, there will not be a tariff. It'll be 42. But if we wait in weeks and weeks and weeks, there could be something, there could be nothing. We don't know, you know? So.
Buy it before the 9th.
The 9th of, yeah, I'm not sure with that though.
Is that when the tariff's going to?
To be honest with you, haven't really been following that. I've been dealing with other things. Yeah, so maybe not. I don't know.
So this dump body would be just for the 2 years to get you to the new truck?
So this body will go on truck 3. In truck 3, I'm projecting to replace, when did I put that? I just had it. Get me all confused now.
Got a lot of things to do.
Well, I tried to organize it
A lot
all.
of things to move around.
You got it at
much to do at
fiscal
once,
year 28, Mike.
Yeah, all right. So I plan to replace that truck in 28. And to replace that truck it's big money, $350,000.
Will the dump body extend the life of it?
So what we've talked about at the shop is if we're gonna dump this money into this truck, we don't have a spare truck. We never have had a spare truck. So what's
Right.
wrong with what's wrong with keeping this truck
Right.
for a little bit longer and just having a spare unit?
Yeah.
So normally it's you replace a truck, you trade it in. You
Right.
get rid of
Right,
it. They give us nothing for it.
Yeah.
So they're not, putting this body on this truck's not gonna make the value go up tremendously to where it's actually worth keeping. But what's not fun is dealing with the repairs in the middle of the storms.
Yeah.
It's just, the stress is just, it's unbearable, you know? It's Timmy operating the truck, and my bed chain's bound up again because a piece of steel broke off of there and rotted and got caught and broke the chain, and now we're down. Somebody else is over there sanding his root, and it's frustrating. And I've actually been trying to replace this dump body for the last 3 years. This is my third time getting a quote from Viking. Viking actually gave us a quote for $30,000 to replace it back 3 years ago, but I was shut down to not even bring it to the board's attention. So yeah, the job's been a lot better lately, you know. I mean, I can come to you guys with what needs to be done, but that's just what I went through before. So that's where we're at. We're not getting forward. I mean, we're not moving forward by running equipment into the ground, and that's just not the way.
Can I say something
Absolutely.
in support of this,
Yeah.
looking over your plan that we've talked about a few times? The old way that Mike was talking about how we did it is I don't want to say it's old-fashioned thinking, it's really good thinking to save up for something, right? We all know to do that, save it up for it and buy it. But Mike reached out to other towns to be like, how are you guys doing this? You're not spending all this money getting the trucks fixed, and they're, teaching him, this is how we do it. And if we're putting $130,000 into a reserve fund, and the next year $140,000 into a reserve fund, it's just sitting there. But if that money is to pay for these leases, it's newer trucks, the repair costs go way down, and it seems like a no-brainer as far as, debt is bad. Not really, but I mean, it's debt. It's if it's in better service to the town and to the DPW. The money, we're moving the money over anyway. It's just, we're thinking that this newer way of doing it is a better use of it rather than it's just sitting there in a fund twiddling its thumbs.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I know what, and that reminds me of something else I wanted to talk to you about. So not all financing these next couple, the backhoe, the truck, possibly the next tandem, the way I have this, puts us in line to replace other equipment paid in full. So in '27, the Ram is up, the 3500, the pickup that we run around in, and I'm high, but I think, around 75 with a plow and a sander. I mean, that's about probably for a new truck. We can pay for that in full. And then that truck will get traded in, and it's still gonna be worth estimated $20,000. And then we're still gonna, put in budget into the reserve. So we always put money into the reserve. Just a different way of using it.
Yeah.
So, and then 28 is the tandem. 29 is just payments, and we don't replace anything. And then there's still quite a bit of money that would sit in there. 20 or 30 puts us to be able to replace truck number 7, and that's estimated around $130,000 to replace that truck, the 7 paid in full. So, I mean, not everything's going to get financed. And then when you get to closer to the end here on the last page, I kind of left those blank. The ones that we've already replaced in 10 years, I kind of left them blank. I wasn't sure if, maybe we would just pay in full for those. So, I mean, but what we do down the road, we can critique it a little bit, but right now, to move forward, to keep our costs down on repairs, because our repair budget's just gonna keep going up, and then this money in the sinking fund's just gonna sit there, and we're not gonna do anything with it. We're just gonna wait until we have enough money to replace something, and then it'll be right to zero.
And the efficiency will go way up of your equipment.
Yeah, so
stopping to bail each other out of
Every
one road
time,
or another.
yeah, every time we send that backhoe out, I dread sending it out, and I have for the last, but I do because it's very handy to go clean out a culvert before a rainstorm or just fix, it's just a very handy piece of equipment, but it's, hey, Mike, we just blew a hydraulic line. It's just, I'm overwhelmed. I've had enough of the breakdowns.
Yeah.
Not saying a new piece of equipment's not going to break down, because it will, but.
So what are the lease terms with that? Like what happens?
So I say lease, but it's actually it's a
It's a payment plan.
yes, it's not a lease, they call it a lease, I don't know why, but they say lease purchase payment. But we actually have one right now for our excavator through Caterpillar, and that'll be paid off. Both of them are, this year.
This year is the last payment on that one?
Yes.
And then
The mower,
the mower is next year, is the last payment.
so those are done over.
We just have the Ford truck, the other Ford truck from last year, and there are only 3 more payments after this year.
Yeah, which we
So-
talked about just leaving that one alone
Yep.
because of the way we did that.
Yeah.
So, and then rolling it into this here. So what I've come to ask for tonight is approval to replace the backhoe, approval to finance the backhoe, that meant to me all in one, and then approval to finance the truck that we've ordered, so it's a 26 HV 507 single axle, and then the approval to spend $50,000 of that money. And the reason I'm saying 50 is I'm gonna need a few dollars for us in the shop to, for some, because we're gonna install it. So there's gonna be some hydraulic lines and stuff on that truck that are gonna need to be replaced or stuff. So we're gonna need, whether we spend the $42,000 through ZWAC, but we're still gonna need a couple dollars to work on something. I'm sure something will come up when we're changing out the dump body. So I think that's everything I had to talk about.
So this is a sort of proposal for a sea change in the way we pay for the equipment.
It's kind of a hybrid.
What?
It's kind of a hybrid, some in
Yeah.
full, some non-in
So
full.
there's $216,000 in the reserve fund. And how much are you saying that needs to be in that reserve fund?
To do everything?
No, just
Oh,
like,
just-
just for your comfortability for the year, for the rest of the year, how much do you need in that reserve fund?
I need enough in there to replace it. The only thing that reserve was ever used for is equipment purchases, so I've never done anything out of that. I've never, I have, but I ordered a truck or something and it's been paid for out of that, so
It's been purely an equipment.
it's all equipment. And it still will be all equipment fund. It's just going to be utilized to make payments for the loans instead of making one payment to something, to the vehicle.
Could you say the asks one more time? So
Absolutely.
approval for the backhoe,
So, I
and
need,
that's a 5-year financing plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
5
So
year.
backhoe, 5 years at 33, whatever. Okay, what's the next one?
the backhoe, so the
the
truck,
dump body.
Dump body for number 3.
dump body. So
And
the
that
tr-
one's like 42 grand or something, but also
I
plus
said-
money for you.
So I just went with 50,000.
Okay, dump
And
body.
if we do all that, we've added our money into the reserve, so the only thing I didn't add on my proposed side was the interest that was, accumulated.
And then the 50K includes the dump body itself and then whatever you need to install it and those costs that you
Yes,
anticipate. Okay,
yeah.
and then ask number 3.
So number 3 is this truck we ordered in 24, 7 of 24. So I had them give me a quick, and this could change, the interest rates could go down, whatever, but I budgeted around $60,000 for the next 5 years to pay for the truck.
And what kind of truck is
So
it?
this is a 2026 HV, International HV 507. It's a single axle plow truck for, it's just, we're replacing a truck in our fleet
Replacement.
of truck number 4. But, and the reason I bring it up now is because when the truck gets here, I can just say to International, yep, we're gonna finance it. When the truck is built and it's done, we'll just sign the paperwork
And
then.
how do you want to finance it? What's their, or like, is it
It's
annual or
I do all 5-year annual
finance
payments.
5 year? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of them all, and like Caterpillar offered, no
Was there a
payment.
fourth one, or is it just the 3?
Just the 3.
Okay.
They offer like a no payment this year, but I don't want to wait around. I want to
No.
let the money's there, let's get
Yeah.
paying.
Yeah, okay, so,
They also do a 7, all these companies will do a 5, 6, and a 7.
so you want 2 5-year financing plans for 2 different pieces of things, and then you want to replace a dump body for 50K.
Yes,
Okay.
that's where I'm at.
Thank you for that summary.
Thank you.
He gave us so much information, I was like, let's just.
Well,
write it
I know,
down.
I know.
Yes, thank you for
I
that.
wasn't
Yeah.
sure if I should have just,
No, it's.
No, you did a great
job, Mike.
But I thought at the end we should recap to
You
just
did a
make
great
it
job.
as
I could have made it
simple as
simple. I need money for the backhoe.
You needed to see how
I
much
didn't think
more than
that
I
would-
needed
And
to
we have
make
more
sure
than
that I
enough
understood everything
in
you
the
said.
Yes, you did.
Fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the old system was set up kind of at a low inflation.
Yeah.
Very
different
low.
worlds.
And
Yeah.
The world where
And if we
people could
wait,
save up for things.
we know that if we wait 2 years, it'll, that truck that went from 100,000 to 200,000 will be 400,000. Just,
I mean, look what happened to the fire truck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
the grader, and when Caterpillar was here, giving me a trade value on our backhoe that we have now, I said, I need a number on that grader. Just a quick,
the giant green.
yeah, just to have. I need a budget number. And he said $500,000.
Yeah.
And it was 500,000.
Yeah.
Sure.
And in the old plan, there was only budgeted 275 for having a grader for 30 years.
Yeah, it's more modern to approach it the way that you're looking at it. This is a lot of work, thank
So
you.
this also does not include some equipment that we have too. And we have a loader that stays at the shop that was bought off of the Army municipal. It's kind of just, it loads the trucks, it's one of them. It's something that it would be awesome to have a brand new loader, but we use it, what we use it for is what we use it for. There's other couple things that the chipper, will need to be replaced, but we can talk about that stuff as we go down. That's why
Sales.
financing it leaves us a little bit of room if something else fails and we need to move
Yeah.
forward on that, so.
That's one of the great things about it.
That's,
It
and,
gives us flexibility.
so, and the backhoe, actually, that comes with a 7-year warranty.
The money to work.
Yeah.
I have the purchase.
Yeah.
Thank you, this was a ton of work.
This is.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to.
Nice job.
Did a great
Very
job.
nice.
First. And I would like to say
Clean thinking.
that Tiffany had made all the spreadsheets for me. So she's very good at that. She
Thank you,
helped,
Tiffany.
she helped me out a lot on the spreadsheets. Otherwise, it all would have been handwritten.
So she helped us all out.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
So, no, I can do it a little bit. I'm not very good with Excel, but I use it a lot.
Okay.
Good.
So can I have a motion? Do you want to put it together since you just made it for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so move that we approve the purchase of a new Caterpillar backhoe in a 5-year purchase agreement. That's the first one, right? Approve the replacement of Truck 3's dump body for a total of $50,000. And approve the replacement of truck number 4 in a financing plan that will take place over 5 years.
That's,
Second.
no,
Is that it?
that's it?
That's it,
Can
right?
I just get clarification on
Yeah.
the reserve fund? And so we're paying these payments out of the reserve fund? That's what
Yeah,
we're
so-
saying. So of the backhoe payment, the truck payment, and the 50,000 for that's all coming out.
Of the reserve
Yeah, so
fund.
it'd be a motion to make those expenditures from the reserve fund.
We put every, like, I wrote a little note in here, so in fiscal year '25, the town approved $130,000 to be moved to the reserve fund. In town meeting we just approved to put $140,000 in there.
And it goes up
So-
every year.
So that, if you look on NIMRIC, that 140 that we've already approved isn't in there yet. Which I have that sheet too if you wanted to see how the reserve fund worked.
No, I just want
So-
to
so
clarify
what-
for everybody that's listening and that will be
Thank you.
listening,
Yeah.
that this money is already in the reserve fund.
Yes.
And
It's
we
already
are-
allocated.
We are
Just
spending it.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
adding
No.
anything.
No.
So, but as we go down the years, which, since I've been here 7 years, we've always put money into the reserve. It's always been part of the budget. So when we do the budget in November, we will put in however much we put in, whether it's another 140 or if it's 150. So we're always adding money into there. And what we've done in the past for the other equipment that's been financed with the town is they put it over into a budgeted item and then ask the taxpayers to budget for that item and then budget money into the reserve. So now we're only doing it out of one fund. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It
Every year.
makes great sense, but I just want to
Yeah,
make sure
that's
that
important.
people understand
I
that.
Yeah.
agree with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's a motion to make 3 expenditures from the reserve fund for the Department of Public Works.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
500. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah, great job. You explained it very
I enjoy it. I enjoy it, doing it. So I've been working on this for the last couple weeks. So, all right, so we'll be in touch about
Yeah,
some stuff.
have some paperwork to sign.
Yeah, we do. So, all right.
Feel good?
No, yeah, I do. I just wanted to say that. Thanks, and the guys will be out grading and doing summer work as soon as the weather lets us. But we've been patching up the roads a lot lately, so
Yeah.
they've been out a lot. And they've been holding up pretty good for,
Yeah.
Yes.
for the conditions.
In the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 visitors from out of town, 2 from Danby,
Yeah.
1 from Arlington, who arrived and without me prompting them, said, as soon as we crossed into Shaftsbury,
Yeah.
the road got harder.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And I said, yep, that's right.
good.
There you go.
They're all trying. They are. They do a good job. We have a good crew. We added a new guy, Ian, today.
Yes.
Was his first day.
Yeah.
Took him from buildings and grounds there and made him do a little buildings and grounds, so it worked out good.
That's right.
All right, I'm all set.
Thank you,
Everybody
Mike.
else is
Thank you,
all
Mike.
set.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a great
As well,
evening.
too.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Okay. Moving along to item 11, discussion of upcoming PFAS meeting.
Do you want to go back to number 9? Since we moved ahead to the...
Sorry, you're right.
That's okay.
Discussion of grant availability, number 9. This is really a kind of heads up to the public and certainly to us that there's, as we all know, a lot of question as to what kinds of grant money is going to be available moving forward, given the result of the last election, frankly. And we are going to, in all likelihood, need to be thinking about making hard choices about raising taxes versus giving up services and some balance between them. And we're going to be wanting to do that in response to the public's considerations about that. So we really want It's on the agenda in order to sort of remind us to think about it, us as a select board, and also in order to ask the public, when you listen to this and watch this, to begin thinking about how to make those balances, what your own priorities are, so that we can have feedback when we need to make those choices. Anybody want to weigh in on that right now?
And I guess we'll just see the federal funding, what changes will change, and then we'll have to make decisions based on that, so. And maybe nothing will change, but maybe lots will change, so.
Right. Well, some things have already changed.
Some things have already changed, cost of things is already going up, those sorts of things, but whether or not, like the roads, like if they pull all the federal funding that has to do with road maintenance statewide, like this sort of thing. Different towns around the state will obviously have to make different considerations to try to step in and fill that gap. And there will be maybe other programs affected depending on what the federal administration decides that they would like to do on a daily basis. So, and obviously this town will prioritize the citizens of this town.
Yes. So we need to know what the citizens of this town feel
As we go along.
Yeah. Please stay in touch with us. All right. Upcoming PFAS meeting. Paul, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. It will be this coming Monday, the 14th, at Cole Hall at 6 p.m. The Vermont Department of, I always forget what, Environmental Conservation representatives will be here to talk about specifically the contaminated wells in Shaftsbury, specifically off of East Road on the Furnace Brook, Red Clover Lane, Lucas Lane, Lower East Road area. Our wells have been monitored for, I don't know how many years now, maybe like a year, 18 months. And a lot of those neighbors are coming. And they'll have a slideshow that shows, the map of where they've tested and the different degrees of contamination that the wells have, and some of the mitigations that are available to some, because we're looking at levels of the Vermont level is 20 parts per trillion, and there are mitigation efforts that they can help with. Anyone who falls below that, there's kind of a question in there. So we've invited them here. We were not able to go to the Bennington meetings. We had a select board meeting that night, so we're having our own Shaftsbury meeting. So if anyone knows that they have PFAS or PFOAs in their well, absolutely come. It's an informational meeting, and we have some options, and we need to figure out how to respond to this.
And it's here?
And it's here, yep. And there will be a Zoom option as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that.
Anybody else want to say anything about that? Okay. Any other business?
Nope.
Nope. Right.
I don't think so.
So, review of action items. Do we actually have any action items coming out of this?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Other than my signing lease paperwork, buying truck paperwork.
You're going to
I'm gonna
sign lease paperwork.
That's right.
Backhoes and trucks. It's going to be really fun. Okay. So, at this point, I would like to entertain a motion to move into executive session to discuss some legal considerations of the town's response to a new agency of education, Vermont Agency of Education, mandate to the SVSU and other SUs around the state.
Are we coming back out of it to vote on
We will
anything?
be coming back out and very possibly taking some action.
Just pause the recording, I think.
So move to enter executive session.
Thank you, Mike. Could I have a second?
Recording stopped.
Second.
Thank you, Brad.
What I do is
Recording in progress.
This will be my first
And
Whopper
we need
also.
to unmute.
I did already, they just didn't catch up to me.
They're so slow. Okay. I am going to read a statement from the Shaftsbury Select Board that is proposed and ask for a motion to approve it. In adherence to the Constitution of the State of Vermont and to the Town of Shaftesbury's Declaration of Inclusion, we urge the Southern Vermont Supervisory Union Superintendent to join other Vermont superintendents in refusing the Vermont Agency of Education's request to sign a certification of compliance that would make us complicit with a potentially unconstitutional directive from the executive branch. And further, we call on the superintendent to call on the Secretary of Education, Zoe Saunders, to join our neighboring states in refusing this executive branch directive.
So moved.
Thank you, Tony. How about a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mike. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And this will be sent by email to the superintendent first thing in the morning.
Yes.
And now I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Zoe, seconded by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Whoppers are